All right, I'm gonna do what no other real estate agent's gonna do, and that's to tell you the cons, the crap, the bad side of owning a home. And oh yeah, there's some crap out there when it comes with owning a home. All right, so stick around. I'll let you in on a few little secrets here. Hi everybody, welcome back. Chris McMahon here, eXp Realty, and good to see you back on this one. And for all the newbies that are coming in here, listen, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm doing a ton of videos all about the Saratoga area, the capital region, down to Albany, up to Lake George. We're doing videos. We're talking about real estate. We're talking about the local community, events, all kinds of things like that are going on. So make sure you subscribe so you get all that information. As soon as it's coming out, you don't want to be left out in the dark on that. So let's get into our video here. Today we're talking about pros and cons of buying a house. And yes, there are cons. We're going to talk about those first. Let's get this out of the way. This is what a lot of real estate agents won't tell you about buying a house that maybe isn't such the fun thing about buying a house. And one of those things is, and it's the obvious one if you stop to think about it a little bit, but one of the things is it's a large upfront cost, okay? You have to come up with a pretty sizable amount of money or down payment in most cases in order to purchase a house. There are some loans out there for veterans out there, or USDA loans for someone who's looking out in a rural area where you can qualify for 100% financing, and I can let you know more about that if you reach out and get a hold of me. But there are loans out there where you can do that. But even if you qualify for 100% financing and stuff like that, and you don't have to come up with a 20% down payment on the property, there are other expenses that go along with purchasing a home. One is you're going to want an attorney. All right, so you have fees for attorneys. You're going to have fees for appraisals when they do it. Inspections, that's another big one. And it's also depending where's your house located, has something to do with what kind of inspections you're going to want to do, because in some areas it might be bad for termites. So you're going to want to make sure you get tested for wood destroying insects. That kind of stuff right there. Also septic well, those are separate inspections from just your traditional regular structural inspection, which is I highly recommend everybody does. But you got the inspections that goes along with that. So there will be money that's going to have to come out of your pocket, even if you do qualify for 100% down financing for a loan there. So one of the other things that once you get into that house, now you close, you own it, it's all great and that, but the house doesn't maintain itself. The house doesn't repair itself. That's up to you. And yeah, that costs money. That's another expense that comes on. You're going to have to want to keep up the house, painting things out. Things are going to break. You're going to want to repair. You want to mow the lawn, shovel the driveways, whatever comes with the regular maintenance of your home. You're going to be responsible for taking care of that. And you can do it yourself. You can always hire somebody. Whatever you feel like doing, whatever works best for your situation. But it's an expense that's going to come up. You don't want to let little things go. For example, a small leak in a sink. A small leak in a sink, if you catch it early enough to take care of it, not a big deal. But left untreated over time, water can do a lot of damage, rot, that kind of thing. So going to want to keep up on those maintenance and repairs, and it is an expense to do that. So other thing that comes along with it there, property tax. Now, in some cases, you can escrow the property tax, where it's actually included in your mortgage payment. But in other cases, it's not escrowed in there, and every year you're going to get a couple bills. You're going to get one from the county, sometimes from the town or the city that you live in, and you're definitely going to get your school taxes, okay? Because we're funding the schools here. That is a major source of income for the school district is property tax. So you're going to have to come up with money to pay for the property tax, whether you're escrowing it or if you just want to wait for that bill to come once a year and pay it all in one shot. And there's pluses and minuses to that, and a mortgage lender can help you out and explain those to you a little bit better. But, you know, and if you have questions on that and want to get in touch with the mortgage lender, again, let me know. I've got some mortgage lenders that I work with that I'll be more than happy to put you in touch with to help you out with that situation. And next, it is less flexible for relocating. You can't just up and take off. If you're in a rent, your lease comes up, you can pick up, move across town, something like that. It's much simpler, much easier to do than when you're own the property, because now you have to sell it. and unload it off to somebody else who's going to take possession of it. And it's a process, and there's steps to do that. A whole bunch of things. You're going to want to get the house cleaned up. You're going to want to declutter it and go through all the things, make it look nice and neat, because you're going to want to get top dollar for it and all that stuff. So that can be a bit of a hassle sometimes when you are looking to try and relocate, upgrade, or even downsize. You're getting along, and the kids are out of the house, and now you don't want to take care of a 4-bedroom house. You only need 2 for just you and the wife. But it is a process to go through that. So that can be a con. That can be a big downside to it. So, but there's also the pro side to it. And let me tell you, the pro sides far outweigh the cons. Once we go through them, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So let's talk about a couple of pros when we are talking about owning a home. First, equity. It's a great way to build equity. I'll put it to you this way. I don't know too many millionaires who don't own real estate. And a lot of them own multiple properties because there's a lot. Equity is a huge thing. And so it's a long-term investment. Think of it this way. Let's just take a number. Let's say that you bought a $400,000 house. You owned it for whatever. You owned it for 20 years. And in that length of time, over the 20 years, you made payments down on that loan. So now you don't own all that money. Now maybe you only own 20 years later, 100, 150 on it. If you owe anything at all, you may have it paid off. But let's just say for a second, you owe $100,000 on it. You bought it for $400,000. In that time, it's appreciated in 20 years, and it's doubled in value. So now it's worth $800,000. So that $400,000 investment you made 20 years earlier, remember, you did put money into it though because you maintained it. But now that has doubled in price. It's up to $800,000. So when you go and sell, you pay off that $100,000 minus a little bit of realtor expenses. So you're making $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 on a property like that over the life. So it's a pretty good long-term investment. It's a great way to build a lot of equity. And when you're going and sell it on the backside, on the back end right there, you're able to put a lot of cash or coin in your pocket. Maybe move down to Florida, buy a home cash, whatever you feel like doing with it. But another thing, it's a great way to improve your credit. So keep that credit score going by making those monthly payments. You make those monthly payments every month, your credit score is going to feel it. You're on time, you're never late, you're doing all the things right, then your credit score is going to go up. And what happens when your credit score goes up? Well, when you go and you qualify for loans, you get those better interest rates because you're less of a risk. So your interest rate goes down. So keep that in mind. Make those payments, improve your credit score, better interest rates, all kinds of good things right there. So also, you have control. You're not living in someone else's home and paying them money to live in someone else's home. It's your home. You have control. You can decide what you do with it. You can decide what you paint it. Any improvements or anything like that, it's your decision of what you want to do. So it's also greater privacy. You own the property. You decide who's allowed to come in and out. You don't have to get 24 hours from the landlord who's going to come in because he's going to be making some repairs or he just wants to check the condition of the property. So it's your home. You've got the privacy on it as well. And there's also long-term stability. Again, like I said, you're making the decision. So when you buy, you sell, this kind of stuff like that, it's not something where if you're renting from a landlord and all of a sudden the landlord decides, well, we're going to sell the property this year, we're going to send it to somebody else. You don't know what that new owner is going to do. Is that new owner going to continue with the lease or are they going to renew the lease with you? Or are they going to say, you know what, you're out of here because I'm moving somebody else in, a family member, a friend, something like that. So, and that happens. So it's stability. There's also tax benefits that go along with it. Some or part of the mortgage interest that you are paying is tax deductible. So check with your accountant or your local tax laws and stuff like that. So, but in many cases, the part of the interest on the loan and can be a tax deduction to help offset some of your income that you made throughout the year to help you pay less taxes, which is always a good thing when you can pay less taxes and keep that money in your pocket and spend that on your family. Like I said, keep in mind, it's a long-term investment. So once you get into that thing over time, you make those payments, you're building equity. It's a great way to build equity. Those are many of the pros. There's more pros to owning a house that we didn't even get in touch with and get into, but those are just kind of the ones I wanted to hit with you and let you know right now. If you got any questions for me, real estate related, reach out and get a hold of me. You can call, text, email, whatever works best for you. I'm fine. Reach out, get a hold of me as soon as you can. We'd love to talk real estate. Be more than happy to answer those questions for you. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you're subscribing, and we'll catch you on the next video.